Well, it's hard to say for sure. We don't keep track of that exact statistic. But I would say you saw the last couple of times it came in, we did see the market rally pretty quickly. I think as much as if it does come into accounts, because first, one thing I want to clarify, it's not a huge amount of money. And, any amount obviously helps. So that going directly into brokerage accounts or anything at an individual basis might not make a huge difference, but all that money together certainly would. But the other thing about it, I think, is just the message of, hey, because of this, the economy is going to improve. People are going to spend. I think you've seen a little bit of that over the last couple of days with what's going on with the retail stocks, where people have sort of this, particularly the brick and mortar ones, where people have this hope where, okay, we're getting through the worst of this because of the vaccine news, but on the other end, people are going to have money to spend, and when they go out, they're going to be able to spend it not just online, but also walking into stores.
JJ, have your clients been buying some of the big cap tech names, including Tesla, on the pullback of late?
Absolutely. It's interesting when you see volatility in the market. A couple of places our clients tend to go. We've seen it even through this, last month, through this week, Wilfred, is the FANG stocks, along with Tesla and Microsoft. So when people talk about technology and selling tech, I think you have to separate that out a little bit. Those more established big cap technology stocks are actually the trusted ones during times like this. And Tesla, maybe it's the CEO a little bit, as well as people believing in the technology, et cetera. People want to be involved with Tesla. With that, Wilfred, we've also seen a bit last month, and particularly over the last few days, is the buying of NIO along with that. So NIO gets a lot of halo effect on the upside from Tesla, and our clients have come in to buy that one. So very interesting on those fronts. And as we continue to see this sort of tug of war between what people think is going to work next, I mean, personally, I just believe the VIX is going to stay between 23 and 30 for a while, for a month or so, because people are trying to figure out what is that next trade. When you and I talked a few months ago, or right around this last stimulus check, it was a lot about the DocuSigns and the Zooms and the Pelotons of the world. Well, Zoom was actually a net sell from our clients last month. We're not seeing the buying in, things like DocuSign and Peloton like we saw in the past, as people are sort of looking, I don't want to say past that, but maybe not for the kind of growth they saw before, and looking to what's the next area I can go to see that kind of growth.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going to go with you, JJ, is that in terms of the sell-off we've seen in tech and what's been under pressure, it has not been equal across the board. And I guess to that point, just to dig into it a little bit more, are you seeing any kind of rotation out of, whether it's from some of these smaller stay-at-home tech names to the mega cap tech names, but beyond that, are you seeing any kind of rotation into the so-called value stocks as well?
Yeah, Morgan, absolutely. Actually, a kind of strange one that's actually come off the last few weeks has actually been 3M, which you certainly don't think of. But I wouldn't say the traditional sort of names. We have seen some energy stock interest, that's for sure, and which is actually a little bit strange in higher interest rate times, because often people use those energy stocks as a yield substitute. But I think with the great move in crude oil, you're starting to see the big cap oil names be very interesting to folks also. And so, that's where you're seeing some of this. It'll be interesting to see GE as it started to get hit the last few days. Yesterday, certainly we saw people start to come in and start to buy that stock, which again is, not one you necessarily think of, at least in the last couple of years, as people going in to look at some sort of a value play overall. But Apple leads the way when it comes to where people are still the most trusting of in times of turbulence. It tends to be a very popular stock with our clients anyways, but out of the FANG stocks themselves, Netflix maybe not getting the love it normally would in these situations, but the Facebook a bit, Amazon for sure, and Apple for sure. You're seeing people coming in there as trusted names.
All right, JJ Kinahan, thanks for joining us. Have a good weekend.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.